As you can see, getting ready to take a test ride. Now, this is the CVO Road Glide ST. I'm going to be going out with another bike. I can't tell which one it is. And we have two others with the group. So it will be a fun ride. I'm putting down my sunscreen because I don't want to be blinded. I have that in a different area than I normally do. So it's doing good. Sign tells me the guy in the orange originally was just going out on a test ride or something. And I've got to remember this is not hilltop, which is something I'm very used to on my bike. So I've got her in sport mode right now. I do like bikes that have different modes. And I guess this is the only one they said. This and something else are the only ones that have the sport mode, etc. And yes, I like going on test rides because, as I said, I right now only have my tri-glide. So for me to get back to where I'm riding on two wheels, I've got to go on test rides or a bike, or when I get in and ride my bike, which is extremely expensive. But that's not a problem. The guy in front of me is more timid, it seems, because he's a little slower going than I am. It's just not a problem. And this is Old Glory's test bike day. So they've got the truck. Now I was curious why we were turning right. I'm like, we always go left, but such is life. What I love is that you're able to turn on this and she has got some power. You gotta be careful I don't accidentally pick her up, because that would be a no-go and I would not be able to ride anymore today. And I do plan to ride other bikes. I'm not going to be until I delete them out of the files, because they just take a lot of space, especially the 360 ones. Now we haven't got out to fourth gear yet, which is fine. I do like the look of the new bikes. I really like the feel of this. My wife would hate it because it's a cedar. I like it because for my body size, this is great. I'm over 6'4". I weigh between 270 and 280, depending on the day. Get up or down by about 5 pounds. And knees and back are shot with this one because of its seat. It has a upturned back, so I feel like I have a backrest for the lower back, which is very comfortable. And this is just, it's very, very comfortable. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very commanding. You can feel just little bits of power. I'd like to take the hands off, but they get really squirrely about that, so I try not to take my hands off this. You just slightly move your shoulders and she moves. And that's something I really like, because with the bike I have now, you really have to move your arm to the body twist, which for my back is probably not the best, but it does make it so that I can enjoy the ride very comfortably. And for anyone who is curious, yes, I'm wearing one of my older vests. I like the look of it, and I have a number of vests I wear, but I notice this is the only one that right now has stuff sewn on it because my living wife has not had the time. That's okay. I haven't had the time to do a lot of the missions I've got to do around the house. Somebody tells me when I finish some of those, she might finish this. We shall see. Now, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but due to the fact it doesn't have the lowers like mine, I've got this cobbled onto the steering, and I like the way she's feeling. Now, if you notice behind us, we have 3 bikes. These are all people who work at the dealership or for Harley itself. The gentleman in front, the person. The other person, I don't know. I've never met him before. They're slowing down for a light up here. Still slowing down. I don't know if you saw the car coming out beyond the pass. That's 295 that we're going to go under here. But shortly after it is the right-hand turn. So what I'm going to try and do is piece this together with the other video. Outside, inside, outside, for anyone who doesn't know. Bump right there. I like this little route because it is shaded here, and even in a hot day it seems pretty cool. We're not going super fast, and we're not going super slow. You're going at a very comfortable pace, which technically I believe is the actual speed limit. Now this is one of those bikes, if I had the chance, I would love to have. I don't have the kind of money to get the CVO ST. I suppose the ST. Tried to dance around and touch that lane. Anybody really see bumps are worse now than they were the last time I took this route. By the way, one of the reasons that some of my 360 camera work I'm not as worried about, or I'm not as out as some, is I listen to other people who have done 360. One of the main ones is Road Reality. John is a very great guy. He tells people a lot of stuff that he's doing with his tests, and it makes it so that when you're riding, that you're able to ride a lot simpler, because you've already seen what other people have done, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. I'd never used a 360 before. I'd wanted one. After I saw some of his work, that is not bad. I can do that. Any thought. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, I do ride a trike all the time. 2 years and 3 months, I put 50,000 miles on it. And 15 years before that, I put 100,000 miles on the VTX. And before that, I probably put at least 50,000 miles between multiple bikes. Borrows, loans, rents, short-term ownership of multi-years. I've had some bikes that were really good and some bikes that were really dogs. Really old bikes, they're not that hard to work with. Some of these newer ones, a lot more stuff on them that just doesn't seem to be as easy on the ride as you would like. And the reason why is these newer bikes has such computerized stuff. That you really gotta watch. By the way, that sport mode, man, it gets you picking up quick, so you gotta watch out on it. I've got on road mode, or standard, I'll call it, which is where I probably would spend most of my time because I do a lot of stuff on the highways because I have to drive back and forth to work. Yes, a lot of people will take, a train or something, which I had done for years, but I would leave almost the same time and not get home till 2, sometimes 3 hours later. Was always bothersome. But man, I do appreciate this bike. This is very comfortable. The gauges are extremely easy to read. Change how it's set up, but right now it's set up as a standard dash. So it's going to be a little more convenient because you can change the color code, you can change all the faces on the dash, but that is something for a totally different done that. So this is not going to be new for people, but I do like that I'm able to do it this way because the main thing with this is not necessarily you on the bike, because a one-time test drive, and this is my second time testing this specific setup of the bike, but it's more of a, hey, this is a test ride, and I'm just giving you guys some off-the-cuff feel. I mean, I've got a bad back, and the way it sits on me, it's very comfortable. I'm 6'4", I normally don't like a toe shift, but this one, it's smooth, it's very easy. I don't know if it's because of the way the toe shift is set. The fact that my foot's not hurting at this moment of the day, but man, that feels comfortable. And I do like the way the wind blows through at the moment. I would need the higher windshield because I do longer trips, and the windshield it has is more for a showy thing. We'll keep while you're moving forward, the stuff off of you. Gauges at least, but not be per se over your head, because I can feel the wind in my head because I'm over 6'4", and by the time back to me it's up there and hitting. I'm laying some edging braking there going. And because this is a new setup for how I'm doing the recording, you guys enjoy it. I hope that it comes through as nice as I think it will. And because I'm going to cut between the bikes I'm test riding today, perspectives of different bikes at different points. Security guard there. I was talking to like another security type person. And for anyone who's complaining, yes, I don't have my gloves on. A slight calculation error, and my gloves soaking wet from yesterday's rain. And I forgot to put them in the dryers, and I can't stand wearing gear that is still sopping wet. By the way, her gearing is great, because going through that corner I left her in fourth. We got down to 4 miles an hour and I didn't have to change gear. She didn't feel like she was choking. Very comfortable. But a lot of that is how she is set up. And remember, every bike is set up differently. CVOs are set up differently than standard. STs are set up differently than standards or the standard CVO. Dressed model where you have the Tour Pak and that are set up even differently. This one does not have lower fairings, which I appreciate in the summertime when you open them up. Sometimes your legs are still like, I could use some airflow. But this one's got a different cooling system on it. All of the newer bikes have it because of the newer engine. He says, don't go on red lights, and the lead goes on the red light, but it turned green as he got there, so all is fair, and love him. I don't go back this way that often. I've never actually been back to their training track, which is back here. It's this building back here, which is, if you trade in a bike, your bike goes there for whatever services and paints that they feel it needs. Okay, that was a good ride. I very much enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't seen this before, this is Motorcycle Stories by Dark Dave. For our watchers, those who watch the Watchers, the Sneaking